Hello and welcome to Roads Yet Traveled. This is the first build of the visual novel, but I hear that it is very, very, very long. So expect a couple of videos about this at the beginning. And so as far as I can tell, the story, or at least at the end of this build, you'll get to pick to go with either of these three. And I think I already know who I'm gonna pick. I'm not gonna tell you guys. It's probably gonna be a surprise. But I'm already looking at him and his eyes. Anyways, yeah. So I know very little about this except that I think you wake up somewhere, you have like no memories or something, typical amnesia thing. And these guys, I'm assuming, are supposed to help you, or will try at least. The one in the middle is a doctor. I'm guessing I think it's a Doberman. On the right is security. He has the gun. And the one on the left is probably like a mechanic or something. I don't know. Kind of cute. Anyways, but yeah. So that's all I know. Obviously, I could read the itch page description, but I want to go into this, blind. So yeah. Anyways, so I guess without further ado, let us begin. Do you think that you could change the world? No matter who you are, you only can do so much. You have so little time to make a difference. Even finding a road worth traveling can be hard. It can look winding, erratic, endless. Sometimes it makes more sense to never even start. They say taking the first step is the hardest part. I can't count how many first steps I've taken. But maybe these steps would be easier if I even slept last night. I mean, come on, what kind of pompous psych professor assigns these kind of questions before the first day of class? I've barely moved in and this guy wants 10 pages. Ugh. Well, I'll have to make it up to him later. Yeah. Yeah. I know, Mom. No, I was busy unpacking all night. No, I am getting better at it, I promise. Yeah, I'm already on my way to class. What? No, yeah, I understand, it's fine. I get Dad had to for work. Yes, we moved a lot, I know it's okay. Hey, I gotta go now, I have to make it to class. Yeah, I love you too. Okay, bye. Putting my phone away and taking a look around, I realize I might have gone the wrong way. I pull out the brochure I got during orientation to try and help me figure out where I am. Looking at the well-illustrated, but poorly designed, map of my new campus, I wonder if the statue I pass was supposed to be one of the founders, or one of some rich graduate who donated enough to be memorialized. I don't want to go check, as it's surrounded by freshmen right now. I'll assume it's the former. Anything to get my bearings straight. All these buildings look so similar. All my past experiences on different campuses are blending together. I swear any place this poorly laid out must really want its students to be late. And who puts the dorms and the cafeteria on the opposite sides of the campus? Not that I even have time for breakfast, but still. I look back and forth at the little map in my hand, and a few directions before just picking one and aimlessly and walking. What am I even doing here? This is what, the third? No. Fourth time I've managed to get into some random college. Every time I feel less and less confident, I'll stick around long enough to graduate. Hell, at this point, I'm worried that I won't last a semester between having to get a job, moving, and my less than stellar work ethic. I'm not lazy. Well, not in a traditional sense. I just can't bring myself to get most of my homework done, which usually leaves me with a less than desirable GPA. If not flat out failing. If I'm not in a classroom, all the work kinda just fades out. I really wonder if I should just stop and... Oof! In my senseless pondering and blind meandering, I bump into a building that looks shockingly close to the one of the little drawings on the map. I do a double take just to make sure. Oh, well, I guess I did end up finding the right building. Sure sticks out way more now that I've actually seen it. The building in question is the newest on campus, despite looking ancient. Half dedicated to science and half dedicated to psych and literature. Apparently it's been a big draw for the school, mainly for the science labs or something. Although I fit into the latter half being a lit major. I guess the donor really thought highly of themselves or something. I heard they modeled it off some famous campus building somewhere. And the interior is supposed to be in stark contrast to the exterior. Something about finding inner meaning in all things or whatever. I won't complain though, the rest of the campus is a bit more run down than I'm used to anyways. I saw some buildings during the orientation that didn't even have air conditioning. Ugh, I'm dreading having classes in those. Especially in the spring semester. After staring at the building for what is probably long enough, I decide that I should actually get inside before I'm late. I find myself unable to though. I end up just standing off to the side in the shades of some old trees. Am I really doing this? Dejected, I inspect my little map with its embarrassing mascot and colorful logos. Go Bulldogs. Or whatever. I feel out of place even though I've been through this so many times. First day jitters. I guess. But when you think it would get better and I'd feel less nervous, it doesn't. And it feels more pointless. I wish I could just stop. Just find something I was good at and stick with it. Hell, even stick in one place. But no. This is my life right now. Between my family moving constantly and not having the drive or capital to do anything else but keep whatever this is up. Guess I best just get on with it. I'm not even going to last a day at this rate. I jokingly mumble to myself as I head around to the main doors of the building. Being a junior at 25 is so embarrassing. At this rate, I won't graduate till I'm 30. I huff and puff, but once my little triad is over, I move along. I finally find the front doors and head up the small staircase inside. Seems quiet. Maybe I missed a class rush. I ponder hopefully as I reach the doors. Turns out I was not so lucky. As when I open the doors, I see tons of people heading every which way. Too many people, in fact. Oh man, I didn't know that this place had this many students. Where were you all at orientation? I tried to head inside, but almost get knocked over by someone barging through the doors. Oof, hey. I look back, but they are already gone. Jackass. The last classes must have just gotten out. This sucks. I've never been good with crowds, even though I've been told that I blend into them quite well. Not really sure that was a compliment in retrospect. Oh well. Getting a bit further into the building, I realized this may be a bit more than I had anticipated. Maybe I should try to find an empty hallway or just anywhere that I can be alone for a second. I see it. A perfect place to be off to the side and just take a breather. I managed to slip through the crowd and duck behind some awkwardly placed lockers at the end of one of the halls. Guess the bad layouts of this place extend to inside their buildings as well. Well, I'm not here to get an architecture degree. I wonder if that's even what architects do, or if it's like an interior design thing. Man, my thoughts are all over the place. I really need to focus. At least, I can be alone here for a second. I'm definitely starting to feel a bit jittery. 3. I feel like I'm being trapped. Watched. 2. Did it suddenly get colder in here? Are you sure, sir? Initiating sequence. Did the hallways change when I wasn't looking? I guess I must have been so distracted trying to get away from the crowd that I didn't even notice that I walked into the science wing. Great. Now I'm just lost again. Damn. I really should have had breakfast. I feel super lightheaded. Hopefully, there will be some time after class to get something. Surely there's a cafe or something nearby. I start heading down the hallway, my little map still in hand, slightly weathered from me grasping it so hard. The poor little mascot drawing is all crumbled up now. I probably shouldn't destroy this thing. Might be the only way that I can get back to my dorm. I slip it into my pocket as I come to a corner. It's really quiet all of a sudden. I guess everyone is in class already. Everyone except me. I'm late to my first class. This isn't new for me, but I'm still not proud of it either. I really need to get better at managing my time. Not a great way to make a first impression and all. Shaking my head to dispel the bad thoughts, I find myself in front of a door. I know I'm looking for room 240L. And I know that this looks like gibberish. I'm no expert, but I don't even think that this is a language. Oh, this is the science department. Maybe they have like fun names for the classrooms or something and use symbols instead. Hey, that's kinda cool actually. Shame I'd never get into a science major. It's literature or bust for me. Oh man, it's bust, isn't it? I just stand lifelessly for a few seconds before shaking it off and reaching for the door handle. Only to realize there isn't one. Oh, wow. They really did go all out. Oh. I know. I pull out my student ID card and try touching it to the pad a few times. Nothing happens. I eye up the pad, seeing if there is any way to swipe or insert it. Giving it a few inquisitory pokes in the process. Nothing. Well, no harm in knocking, I guess. I raise my hand to knock on the door, and before it even reaches the door, slides open. I'm a bit shocked, but also, man, that was cool. I hope the literature department is half as good as this. I peek inside and see some students working hard standing around a table. all in huge white lab coats looking all proper and clean. I don't think they heard the door open. Must be really busy doing sciencey stuff. I gather the courage I need and speak up. Hi there, guys. I'm a bit lost. Mind telling me what the literature department is? First day and all. Their ears perk up. Wait, what? Ears? As they turn to me, they are much larger than I thought they'd be. Also, they look like dogs. Does this school have a drama club? They must use this room for costumes. Or something. Yeah. Just really nice costumes. With moving eyes. And realistic fur. They're staring at me. I snap out of it. I don't like this anymore. I think I'm gonna go anywhere but here. Bye. I say as I duck around the door and start power walking the opposite direction. I hear what can only be described as barking behind me. My sneakers are thundering on the hard metal floor. Am I running? When did I start running? I'm not stopping now. The hallways all look the same. Did they always look the same? No, I'm sure they didn't. Where are the windows? Where are the bad motivational posters? I don't think this is a science wing anymore. Turning a corner, too sharp, I bump into someone. Or rather, something. I think I knocked them over. I gather myself for a moment and look down at them. If the phrase deer in the headlights ever meant anything to me, this is it. I think time has stopped. I might have skipped breakfast and I might be lightheaded, but I'm not delusional. That is a dog in a lab coat. They look analogous to a Doberman. Or something of the like. Our eyes meet and I realize that they are staring at me, returning my stunned expression. This can't be real. My heartbeat reminds me time stops for no one and I dash off in the other direction. From behind me, I hear a shaken wh. That's enough to almost stop me in my tracks. Did that thing just talk to me? Did I understand it? No. 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 Just keep running. The adrenaline in my veins allows me to sprint far more than I usually do. Morning jogs be damned. I'm running for my life. Maybe. As if things couldn't get worse, red lights start encompassing every inch of the hallways and alarms blare overhead. I have a sinking feeling those are for me. If I wasn't panicking earlier, I am now. I really don't think this is the science wing anymore. Hell, I don't know where I am. I turn a corner and see some more of those things looking around. I try to sneak a peek at them. They seem to be talking, but I can't hear them over the alarm. They have foregone the lab coats of the other dogs I've seen so far and are wearing sleek outfits with a uniform jacket. If the jacket wasn't enough to clue me into what their jobs might be, the weapons they're carrying sure do. One brandishing a worrying-looking baton, while the others have guns of some kind. My heart rate spikes. This can't be it. I can't be here. This can't be real. In my panic, I notice a panel of one of the walls has been removed. Maybe for maintenance or something. It doesn't matter. And I don't care. I decide to make a dash for it. I hear some barking behind me. I think they've heard me. Or saw me. It doesn't matter. There's enough room to where I can crawl through. Anything is better than this. I hear footsteps pounding behind me. They definitely saw me. I try to quickly duck into the opening, but a clawed hand, paw, reaches in and grabs at me. "Come here." It grabs furiously before nicking my left arm with its claws. I wince. I think it got me. I think I scream, but in a haze I can't tell. In its fury, it grabs one of my backpack straps and yanks me back a bit. It's far too strong to break free. I manage to quickly wiggle out of my backpack and head down the small tunnel before nearly being pulled out. I really hope that they can't follow me in here, but I don't dare turn back and check. I dodge under narrow pipes and around a corner into a barely lit and claustrophobic hallway. Hallway gives it too much credit. This is less than an intentional crack in a wall, but it's enough. I shimmy forward, hoping with every step that I can find a way back from this madness. Out of the rabbit hole, or whatever. It's a tight squeeze to get out of the tunnel into another mess of pipes and cables parading as a hallway. I wince as I get through, reaching to my arm only to find my shirt has got caught on one of the pipes and gotten a hole torn in the left arm. There's a weird red oil on it, and on the pipes I pass. Oh no. I'm just being daft. I must have cut myself on the pipes. The guards definitely didn't have claws. And they definitely aren't giant dogs. Yeah, no, this is just fatigue. I'm just imagining it. I must have wandered off into some still under development part of the new building and gotten chased off by the guards. And now I'm in the walls, bleeding, trapped, like a rat. Well, I'm not going back, that's for sure. While this moment's respite allows me to clear my head, it also clears some of the adrenaline from my system and my panic comes back. I breathe in through my teeth. Ow, damn it. I clap my hands to my arm where the cuts are and press tight. I think you're supposed to do something like that. Close enough for now. As I do, I hear something akin to grumbling behind me. My eyes shoot open. Realizing I hadn't checked my surroundings before my little pause, I wipe my head around and examine the rest of the hallway. After my eyes adjust to the darkness, I see something. Someone. Sitting on some metal jutting out of the wall. It's hard to make out what, and I decide to get closer. I shouldn't have. It does no good for my psyche to see that this is, in fact, a dog in human clothing just asleep. In front of me. Despite my panic, I take a second to look them over, trying to convince myself that they're fake. That is, it's just a suit. Anything. I try to compare them to a dog breed that I'd know. Anything to make this more manageable in my head. Although, in my inspection, my eyes are quickly drawn to one of their arms. Either I'm seeing things, which feels possible at this point, or it's just entirely made of metal. Watching their chest move up and down calmly and rhythmically as they sleep does nothing to assuage my pounding heart. A cool blue light emanating from their mysterious arm. My broken and terrified demeanor contrasting their calm and resting state. I hear more footsteps outside. I must be close to an exit of some kind. Maybe another one of those wall panels. I bet I can slip out. Although I don't see an exit anywhere. I see next to this canine, there is a bag of tools. Some that look immediately identifiable and some more, let's say, alien in the nature. But I've never been into construction or engineering or whatever. They probably are just normal tools, right? I reach for the most analogous thing to a wrench, using my non-cut-up arm, and try to sneak it out of the bag without making much noise. Spread out. It couldn't have gotten far. My nerves of steel give out the second I hear that from behind me and I panic, knocking the whole damn bag over before scrambling to pick up what I was reaching for. Finally managing to get it from amongst the jumbled mess of other unknown tools, although perhaps too late. Looking up from my fumbling, I'm met with a confused and wide-eyed stare from the creature that was resting not but moments ago. A few slow blinks are exchanged by both parties before it mutters. Am I still sleeping? Well, I've heard these things speak before. Actually, seeing it up close makes me jolt back. Wrench raised in a pathetic attempt to look intimidating. While still dazed, the canine in front of me realizes this and shifts back, albeit a bit too fast, and dings his head on a pipe. Ow! They yelp in less than an intimidating manner. What is intimidating, though, is, out of reflex or intention, they decide to stand up, dwarfing me by a few good inches. Ears not included. In the process, though, they incidentally get closer to me than I like in my current state. But back up! I shout as I aimlessly swing their wrench back and forth at them like some cornered beast. If they weren't awake already, they are now. Hey! Whoa, but be careful. What are you? Stay back. I'm warning you. Their eyes display no understanding. What are you saying? What do they mean, what am I saying? How am I the crazy one here? I take a few steps back. I'm cornered whether I know it or not. They take a step forward. Can't you hear me? I said stay back. With one last pathetic swing, I'm thrown off balance and slip backwards towards the wall. The canine's eyes open wide, not in fear, but in shock and panic. No, wait, those panels aren't done being installed. Their words do not stop my descent as I slam into the thin wall, taking it down with me. Oof. Ugh, my head is spinning. The red lights and alarms are not helping at all. I must have knocked out whatever panel they were working on. It takes me a second to come to my senses. I drop the damn wrench and manage to stand up. I feel like shit. I look up and notice a dog is standing where the panel just was, looking at me, almost worried. I don't take time to dwell on it as I turn to look both ways down the hallway. One end seems to have a few of the dogs in lab coats frantically looking this way and yelling. The other way seems clear, though. I make a break for it. I'm definitely not running as fast as I was. But running at all is a miracle right now. Then, something turns the corner. One of those security-looking dogs. They look unarmed, but through the haze in my eyes and the red lights, I swear, I see their eyes practically glow blue. There you are. Oh no. I try pivoting the other direction. Maybe I'll be better off passing those other dogs. I use all the energy left in my exhausted body to try and cover any ground at all. I hear my footsteps. I hear my heartbeat. Then I hear something that makes my heart skip a beat. Their footsteps. They're close already. I can't get away. I see the tool I dropped earlier and manage to snatch it up before they are upon me. Maybe I can defend myself or something. I turn and my heart stops. Bounding towards me and just a few feet away is another Doberman. Far more intimidating than the last. Paws out, looking ready to lunge and tackle me. I don't even have time to breathe. I just flinch before I'm knocked to the floor. Wait, no, Cause this... What? I open my eyes and look around. My head is in a total daze. I'm in... class? Oh, thank goodness. I must have just made it to class and passed out. Those crowds really get to me sometimes. I breathe a sigh of relief. I go to scratch my arm and wince. Ow! What? Pulling my hand away, I see that there's blood on it. Oh no. Maybe I still got cut in all of that? I did almost get knocked over before coming into class. Surely there's a reason for all. I realize that I've been sitting alone this whole time. No, please. Panic doesn't have time to set in. They spot me in a heartbeat. Piercing blue eyes shoot through my very being. This is it. This is how I die. He lunges. I scream. I scream. Startled awake from my horrible dream. To be confronted with a horrible reality. A horrible reality with a warm blanket covering me? This is definitely not my dorm. Hello? Where am I? Taking a quick look around the room, it seems to have some general furnishings like a desk and chair. A bench coming out of one of the walls. A little nook that appears to be a bathroom. This might actually be nicer than my dorm. Wait. I can't be having thoughts like that now. Shaking myself awake, I try to sit up only to realize just how damn sore I am. It's hard to even shimmy to the side of the bed. And to add to it all, I'm shirtless all of a sudden. Giving myself a quick one over, I find that my pants are still on. Although my pockets have been emptied. And in lieu of a shirt, I have some bandages on my arm and my head. I managed to stop myself from touching them like an idiot. Better just leave them how they are for now. And not that I'd wear shoes to bed, but I realize that those have gone missing as well. An uneasy panic sets in. Where in the world am I? Hello? I repeat louder. I manage to swing my legs over the edge of the bed, the cold floor causing me to shiver. After managing to stand up finally, albeit with some wobbling around and catching myself a few times, I realize that this room is missing something. Something crucial, in fact. There's no damn door. Walking along the edge of the room, scouring it for any kind of cracks or seams or anything, I realize that there's just nothing. I bang my fist against the wall. Hello? Still no response. Discouraged, I sit on the edge of the bed and just try to put my thoughts together. None of this makes sense. How did I get here? Where even is here? Why are there giant dog folk just out and about? I'm really hoping that the giant dog part was just a hallucination or something. Unfortunately, I'm having a hard time convincing myself to believe that. I have to calm myself down, even just a bit, just focusing on my breathing. I think some therapist recommended that. It's been so long since I've been to one. It feels like hours pass, although it's probably been far less. I find myself jumping at every little inexplicable sound. There must be something behind these walls. I can feel it. That feeling of being watched. But I don't see any cameras. I do, however, remember seeing a sink in the corner and decide to splash some water on my face. Maybe get a bit of a drink while I'm there. I've done nothing but sit and try to completely break down. I need some water. The sink seems fine, it runs cold enough. Speaking of, this whole place is a bit on the colder side. Maybe it's because I seem to have been relieved of almost all my clothing, but still. Cupping my hands, I'm able to get a decent drink. Doesn't taste like anything, which means it's water. Probably. Looking at my hands after drinking from them, I see some nicks and bruises. A bit of blood still stuck under a fingernail. I've been better. Fortunately, before my train of thought can get darker, I hear some muffled sounds coming from another wall. It sounds like talking. I try to figure where it's coming from before setting my eyes on the wall opposite my bed. Creeping over, I manage to hear that it's definitely talking. But I can't make it all out. What do you... Hurt them. You? Well, sir? What? They stop for a few seconds. Sounds like there are two. Maybe 3 of them out there? I put my ear up to the wall to listen. What is it doing? Can they see me? I look around for cameras, but nothing in the room or on the walls sticks out as one to me. There's a sound like a mechanical door opening outside, and I can hear a new voice enter the room. Sorry I'm late, sir. I've never had to come down here before. I thought you knew the entire station. Never mind that. Maruk, can you let us in now? Station? Am I on a military base or something? Guess that would explain the lab coats and armed guards. I hear some clicking coming from the other side of the wall. as well as some muffled grumbling, before suddenly, the wall isn't a wall at all but a window. I scramble back, tripping over myself in the process and landing right on my backside. Looking up, I'm met with 3 dogs staring back at me, all with varying expressions. In the middle and directly ahead of me, there's a shorter and older looking sheepdog of some kind. Maybe a mutt? Wearing a smart looking lab coat and a tie combo. Their expression is one of pure awe, as if they just discovered something amazing. Maybe they have. To his right is a massive St. Bernard looking dog dressed in what I can only assume are some form of doctor scrubs. He casually towers over the rest of them easily. I'd be intimidated by his sheer size if he didn't have the most disarming grin on his face. We lock eyes for a moment and his smile only gets larger. The last dog in the room gives me no favors. As I turn to my right to face him, I realize who it is. My eyes narrow and my heart rate picks up. Him. I scramble back to my bed and shield myself with a pillow. He just rolls his eyes and scoffs. Bah, look at that. You and your team have terrified the poor thing. We'll be lucky if we can manage any kind of communication with it now. Yeah, that's great. Just doing my job. Hey, so can I go now, Chief? I gotta make sure that there's no more of... He gestures at me. These things around. Finally having a chance to listen to this canine's voice. And not just wanting to scream in return. It has an interesting sound to it. It's not all just barks, I guess. It's gruff but not intimidating, right now at least. He sounds like he's been trained how to speak properly, like in the military or something. Maybe not how to act properly, though. Knowing now that I'm not crazy and these things do indeed talk, I turn to the other 2 to see who this chief is. Now, Maruk, your team is scouring the whole station. And I am sure that they will do an excellent job terrifying anything else they find. So, just stay a while and make sure that we don't have any issues here, wouldn't you? The chief's voice definitely clues me into his age. If the gray in the fur wasn't an indicator enough already. Being a bit cracked, but still warm. Maruk just grumbles and sits on the bench on the other side of the window. While I am glad our medical team clothed the thing, I do think it would be more advantageous to actually see what it looks like in its natural state. What are you talking about, Doc? I think the team just bandaged it up or something. They didn't put those pants on it. Wait, you're implying you found it clothed running around the ship? Yes. There wasn't some naked creature running around the vents scaring our crew. Didn't you read my report? Maruk, you of all people should know how important yesterday was for me and... As I watch those 2 bicker at each other, my eyes are drawn to the massive and unmoving saint in the corner of the room. He hasn't made a move since I first saw him. Still just staring and smiling. It's a bit more unsettling now that it's been going on for so long. Finally, he speaks up. Chief, I can summarize Security Chief Maruk's report for you. Still not breaking eye contact. An alarm went off in the advanced research sector after multiple reports of an unknown being roaming the halls. After finding the creature in the vents, it was subdued by Maruk himself. The creature sustained what we believe to be minor wounds and was detained. It showed an aptitude for those tool usage, evasion of capture, and logical thinking. Also, it's watching us. He punctuates his speech with a warm smile and points to me as the other 2 look on. I can't help but look back at them. They seem shocked that I am at least following the flow of the conversation. Oh my, you seem to be right, my boy. The chief pats the mountain of a saint on the back and walks closer to the glass. I wonder if this is the result of yesterday's big show. Sounds like I just missed something before my arrival. It's entirely possible, sir, but there's no way to tell right now. Not until we run all of the data fully. And even then, who knows what it will tell us. Might be a few days still, if not longer. Yes, of course. Let us not worry about that until then, and focus on this for now. Maruk, in your report, you did say that it could speak, no? Well, it did more screaming than speaking. But, well, what? Sir, what Maruk is trying to say is that head of maintenance, Roan Tyran, corroborated that it does indeed seem to speak some sort of language. Although, we do not know what. Guess Roan was that dog that I encountered in the walls yesterday. Ah, yes, I did see him being questioned yesterday. Interesting mechanic, that one, but hard to find sometimes. Well, bring him in down here. Maybe he can help us. I don't know if that's necessary, sir. I mean, he only saw the thing for a moment. No need to bother him, right? Nonsense. I'm sure that he'll be of great help. Schedule him to come by sometime, will you? No one moves, but the saint just nods his head and turns back to me. Maybe there are more dogs off to the side taking notes. Ooh, but that's later. Let's enjoy this moment. I mean, look at what we have here. Just fascinating. I would love to hear it communicate. I truly can't believe that we might be making first contact here. First contact? Oh no. Am I the first other sentient being the species has met? Oh, am I not making a good first impression? Well, I guess they aren't really either. Putting me in the cell and all. Either way, I decide it's probably high time to come out from under my pillow and say something. Hello? All their eyes widen, even Maruk's, and they stare at me. I try to stand brave and strong-looking, crawling out from behind a pillow. But being about the same height as the chief, I don't think it's working. They turn to one another and look a bit confused. Can you understand me? I ask with a small wave. Still nothing but beguiled looks. I don't remember taking lessons in barking and growling, so why the hell can I understand them? Guess I should just count my blessings that I can for now and worry about why later. They do seem a bit disappointed. Not sure what they expected though. Any ideas, sir? What? Oh, just thinking, my boy. Give me a minute. It just spoke up now, yes? Yes, sir. Didn't you hear it? Yes, I did. But that's not what I meant. I mean, it spoke up only after I said how much I'd love to hear it speak, no? I realize since I understand them, I've still just been following normal conversation rules and so on. I guess that must be weird for them since they can't understand that I can understand them already. Maybe it was just a coincidence, but we should try some simple questions and... He's cut off by a beeping noise. Raising his wrist, it reveals he's wearing a bracelet of some kind. It seems fairly innocuous until a small screen appears in front of it. I'm too far away to see what it says. It's a bit shocking to see something like that. Although I'm not sure how much more that I can be surprised by anything at this point. It's all gone a bit numb. Being imprisoned by giant talking dogs with see-through walls and holograms emitting bracelets. It'd be up there for the coolest thing that I've ever seen. If I wasn't scared for my life right now. Oh my, some numbers are coming through from the... Well, you know. I know how monumental this is. Gesturing at me. But this is my life's work. I must go, you understand? Of course, sir. Maruk and I can handle this. Wait. What do you mean, Marukan? Thank you. I expect a full report when you're done. Of course, sir. The big saint says with a smile and a nod as the old chief leaves, affording me one last look. Fascinating. Isn't it? I can't see the door as he leaves, but I can hear it. There's a moment of silence between the three of us, as if all the life in the room just left. Fortunately, for all of us, the one named Maruk ends our discomfort. He's not going to read the report, you know. Oh, he reads my reports. Just not yours. Punctuated with a wink. Huh. Whatever. Guess these two are acquainted. I still have no idea really who they are besides some honorific titles on their names. Well, one of their names anyhow. The large saint approaches the wall. Well, one of us has to get some work done around here. Mind letting me in? Aren't you worried about getting contaminated? I spent like 4 hours getting tested by the emergency team. The saint just turns to him and raises an eyebrow. What are you? Oh. Damn it, right, I forgot sometimes. That's the point, you know. Yeah, well, it works. Anyways, you know where to stand. Try not to let it out, heh? I've got no idea what they're talking about. Guess they know each other well enough, though. While the saint waits, Maruk pulls up a screen on his bracelet. Guess whatever that thing is, they are ubiquitous around here. And part of the wall opens up. It just slides away. I guess things around here still surprise me after all. Once the wonder of the sliding wall fades, I realize I'm about to make close contact with another one of those massive canines. My muscles tense up and I go into fight or flight mode. The expression on the saint changes, if only very slightly. There's no way he notices that, right? I barely flinched, but still. Guess I gotta be careful. He steps inside and the door slides closed behind him, walking over to the bench and messing around with his bag. I decide to keep my distance, so I sit on my bed and watch, only slightly hiding behind a pillow this time. He's very calm for someone who is sitting in a room with an alien. Wait, I guess I'm also sitting in a room with an alien, although I'm definitely slightly less calm. Still calmer than when I woke up, though. I guess it can't be helped. This new dog might be huge, but he's very disarming. A gentle giant. I hope. While he's pulling out some, by the looks of it, medical equipment and other unknown tools, Maruk decides to get up from his bench and saunter over to the wall. You know, Doc, that thing is pretty wily. I'd be careful if I were you. Oh, I'm in so much danger. I need the big and strong security chief Maruk to come and save me. Yeah, but I'm serious. The thing took up a wrench and tried to hit me. I know, I read your report. Rowan's too. Fascinating, isn't it? More annoying. I'm already under pressure as it is. This really isn't helping. You're fine, Maruk. You've been through worse than this. Yeah, whatever. Why the hell are you in there anyways? I doubt that it's just gonna sit all nicely for you. Why not just knock it out and run all your little tests then? Knock it out? I'd rather not be knocked out again or at all, please. Maruk, you can't be serious. I'm already mad enough at the emergency team for suggesting using anesthetics on them. Let's not make it any worse, alright? Fine. Just watch out, okay? I'll be right here if you need me. The doc just grunts in acknowledgement. He takes his time double-checking every little tool he pulled out of his bag before turning to me. Our eyes meet and he smiles. He then proceeds to pat the seat next to him. He can't be serious. Maruk picks up on this too. Doc, he ain't a normal patient. I don't think he's gonna just come to ya. Well, I can't go to them without scaring them. But I need these tests done. We didn't get great readings when they were asleep. It might not understand us, but it's clearly sentient. Just scared. They will come to me. Just give them time. Maruk doesn't look convinced. I'm not sure I'm convinced either. From being chased down corridors and being slashed by claws, it's a bit hard for me to just approach one of these things. But now they see I'm sentient. So surely that won't happen again. Right? Ugh, this sucks. My mind is racing every which way. After about a minute of panicking and second-guessing myself, I stand up and slowly head over to the bench. Against my better judgment. Eyeing up both of the big dogs on the way, making sure that they don't pounce on me like last time. Maruk seems surprised I moved at all. But Doc just has the same smiling exterior. I really hope I didn't make a mistake here. Not that I have much of a choice in this situation. It's either what, go over to him or just try to make a pillow fort and hide forever? Tempting. But I don't think I have enough pillows. I sit down a few feet away from him, almost falling off the edge of the bench, and slowly turn my gaze towards him. He's even bigger up close. How is this going to work at all? Getting a physical from another species that doesn't even understand me or what I am. Doc slowly offers his hand. Paw? For me, resting palm side up. My gaze rapidly shifts between his massive paw and his face. Is he offering it to me or does he want my hand in return? Poor thing is terrified. The chief was right. It'll be a miracle if we can get its trust. Hey, don't blame me. I was just doing my job. Don't remind me. After taking a few deep breaths to steel my nerves, I decide to just get this over with. I've always hated waiting at the doctor's office anyway. I slowly reach up and put my hand inside his paw. Unfortunately for me, he was still busy bickering with Maruk, and I ended up surprising him as he jumps back a bit, causing me to flinch backwards as well. I immediately pull my arm into a defensive position. Oh, no. I'm sorry. A crack appears in his ever-present smile as he seems genuinely worried. Putting his paw back out slowly. Much lower this time. Oh, no. Please don't tell me that I've ruined my one chance. My palms are sweaty as I knead my balled fists. Staring down at his massive beast's paw, trying to convince myself that they are just in fact there to help me, is substantially harder than I'd like. After convincing myself that I'm not crazy, and this is somehow the best course of action, I so slowly return my hand to his paw. I can't help but gently squeeze one of his fingers. It's warm and unbelievably soft. They really are just like big dogs. If there was any doubt left in my mind about these things, it's gone now. They are real. He lets out a sigh of relief as if he'd been holding it back since he walked in here. See, Maruk, maybe you should try being nice sometime before you're just tackling everything you see. Hey. First off, I'm great at tackling things. Top of my class. And next time I find an intruder on the station, I'll remember to be nice first. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. Did he just make a joke? I can't help but scoff. I'm surprised he has a sense of humor. Guess I don't really know the guy very well. Besides his tackling prowess, which I can unfortunately attest to. Noticing that Doc has an inquisitive look on his face, I realize I responded to another comment I had no right to understanding. Did he pick up on that though? He does seem smart. But still, that's a stretch. He eyes me up a bit more before reaching over with his other arm and pulling out some bracelet-looking thing. Oh, probably to check my blood pressure. Wait, what good is that going to do if he has no idea what my blood pressure is supposed to be? Maybe to get a baseline? I hope he doesn't expect me to tell him what a normal blood pressure should be. He pulls his paw back and pantomimes putting the device on his wrist. Seems eerily similar to how it'd go at a normal checkup, but I won't complain. I'm going to put this on you and make sure that you're healthy, okay? It'll squeeze, okay? Doc. What are you doing? Even if he can't understand us, it's important to explain the procedure. I can only act it out so well. Also, I'm recording this for posterity. Anyways, its heart rate seems to have gone down, so that's good. Probably. Who knew xenobiology would be so hard? Haha. Well, maybe it'll calm enough to get some blood samples. Wait, my heart rate? How the hell can he tell that? He hasn't even put the wrist strap on. Is that just a canine thing? I know there are dogs that can do something like that. It's impressive, albeit a bit creepy. And wait, did he say blood samples? Alright, anyways. I'm going to put this on your wrist. You'll feel a bit of a squeeze, okay? He's repeating himself, as if talking to a child, as well as acting it out again. I suppose that's all he thinks he can do to communicate, so I just nod in response. His eyes open wide and he hikes up an eyebrow. Can you really not understand me? I ask, laying out my arm for him. Note for recording that was the patient. At time of recordings, I'll assume that was an affirmatives of some kind that has allowed me to take its blood pressure. Yeah, I'll take that as a no. I wonder if I'm better off with charades. I hate how that might actually be a good idea. Maybe later, I just want to get this impromptu appointment over with. After a short and much more automated procedure than I'm used to, the wristband comes off. Patient calmly allowed me to take their blood pressure. We'll assume that this will be a baseline for future tests. If slightly elevated, perhaps. This would be a really bad way to find out that I have high blood pressure. Also, I suppose with no other humans around, I wouldn't be able to tell anyways. I try to laugh it off. While I'm in my own head, Doc pulls out a stethoscope that looks eerily similar to one that you would find on Earth, and turns back to me. We'll now attempt to listen to and record the patient's heartbeat as best as I can. If I can locate the heart. Assuming patient has one. For note, the patient only seems to have fur on their head, removing the need to move it out of the way. He edges slightly closer to me and slowly reaches his empty paw out. I promise, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to make sure that you are nice and healthy, alright? I almost laugh at his attempt to calm me down. It's sweet, but ultimately unnecessary. Although all said and done, I am feeling a bit more calm, oddly enough. I mean, I'm still trapped, but at least they sent this guy in to treat me instead of Maruk. That would be a much more physical. At this rate, my heartbeat might actually be decent for him. After shuffling forward again, he makes eye contact with me, as if asking me to not jump back or lash out. I stay calm and let him continue with what he has to do. No need to prolong it. It does come to mind, however, that while I have made physical contact with these canines before, well, one made contact with me at ramming speed. I have not really had a chance to fully study them up close. I am grateful to find out that they aren't at all intimidating. Or maybe it's just Doc. He's massive, but so gentle. I can feel how warm he is, his breath on my arm, his fur brushing against my chest. It's certainly disarming if nothing else. After leaning in and putting the cold stethoscope to my chest, he mumbles to himself, attempting to ascertain the location of the patient's heart and taking a reading. He fumbles about for a bit, trying to find it, poking and prodding but never quite getting it right. I'd be embarrassed for him if he wasn't so alien. I decide instead to just reach up and guide him with a free hand, grabbing the back of his mighty paw and gently delivering it to my heart. Oh, thank you. It only takes 2 beats of my heart for him to realize what just happened. He jolts backwards, falling off the bench. I flinch, worried something has happened. Maruk jumps up and rushes to the wall. What the hell, Doc? You okay? I'm coming in. No, I'm fine. Well, what the hell was all the theatrics for? I just realized what the chief was implying. Oh dear. Oh, this is... What are you on about? Maruk. It's following our conversations. Its movements and gestures are not random at all. It understands us. Maruk looks confused, as if he's uncertain that he wants to believe that could be true or not. That's a joke. Right, Doc? He doesn't respond. I'm just glad that we might actually be making progress here. I was worried that I would have to wait weeks to get anything across. Guess I got found by some damn smart canines. Maruk excluded. Doc slowly gets up while eyeing me warily, as if I might attack at any second, and musters the courage to ask. You can understand us, right? I simply nod yes. Both Doc and Baruch take a second to compose themselves. I guess that was a bombshell to drop on them just casually. It's surprising to me, too, but so is everything here. I hope it wasn't a mistake letting them know that I can understand them. But by how our earlier conversation was going, it seems the chief might have figured me out pretty quickly anyways. Maybe I can ask for a shirt soon. And to be let out of the jail. Small steps. Doc blinks to himself back to reality and sits down next to me. I don't think he knows what to say. Maruk, it should go without saying that everything that happens here is confidential. Correct? What? Yeah, of course, Doc. I'm the one who interviewed half of the people who saw this thing. We know the captain doesn't want the word out yet. Captain? Like military rank or like boat captain? Are we on a ship? I guess these questions will have to wait, but it seems that there's some higher powers than just the chief. For posterity, and to make sure that wasn't just a coincidence. Please nod if you can understand us. I'm a bit confused, but I guess not as confused as them. Yes, I do understand you. I say, nodding. Doc turns to Maruk, who looks equally as confused. Don't look at me. You're the scientist here. This is well beyond my purview. Well, do something. You know what my skill set includes, and this ain't it. These two really like going at each other, as if they were an old married couple in some cheesy sitcom. A sitcom that I'd watched back home. A hole suddenly forms in my gut. Home. Where the hell am I? I really don't know how far home is, huh? Did I even get a chance to say goodbye? That shitty phone call sure didn't count. Oh man, not now. I'd really rather not cry in front of these two right now. Fortunately, the resident walking heart rate monitor seems to have picked up on this. Oh, dear. Don't worry, we aren't fighting. Maruk and I just enjoy getting on each other's tails is all. Oh, this is so confusing. I suppose I should introduce myself then. My name is Merowyn. Dr. Merowyn Seno. But, most people just call me Mero. Or Doc. Mostly Doc. And that's Maruk Saris, our head of security, if you haven't picked up on that already. This saint really is trying to live up to his namesake, huh? He thought I was worried about his squabbling with Maruk and tried to calm me down. Best doctor I've ever had, that's for sure. I take some deep breaths to compose myself. Merowy, I say, pointing at him. I'm not sure he entirely understands me, but he smiles nonetheless. I point to myself. Is there a default name? Tucker. Doc seems very excited and tries to repeat my name. With the language barrier being one-sided, it's very weird how he tries to say it. I wonder if what I'm saying and what they're saying sounds different. Like they obviously aren't speaking English, so why do I hear it like they are? And can they even repeat a word that I've said in English back to me? Would I hear it as English or their language, and it just get translated? Wait, is it being translated? This is too much to wrap my head around on an empty stomach. Wait, empty stomach? I look down and grab my stomach, only now realizing how hungry I am. I haven't eaten since last night. Who knows how long ago that was? I'm so disorientated that I don't even know what time it is. Focus. One issue at a time. And that issue is lunch. I realize that Merowyn was just watching me. And fortunately, I think grabbing one's stomach seems to be a universal language. Hey, Maruk. Have we brought any food for our guest? Food? No. You were the first one in there since it woke up. What do you suppose it eats anyways? Well, I guess we'll find out. Mind going and picking something up? A variety if you don't mind. Yeah, I'd love to, Doc, but I ain't really supposed to leave it unguarded. Let alone leave you locked in there with it. I know you think it's fine and all, but it could still be deadly. I appreciate your concern, Maruk, but I'll be fine. Anyways, we can't ask someone else to come and get us anything. So few people even know what's really here. Maruk looks between the two of us. Not worried per se, just more concerned. Whether for himself or for Marrow, I can't say. In the end, he sighs and capitulates. Alright, fine, but I've got to be fast. I can't afford to stand in any line, so sorry if it's not the best selection or whatever. That's fine. Just the best you can. Thank you. With that, he nods and heads out. Not before eyeing me up a bit, as if to say, don't try anything. Trust me, in a fight between a 160 or so pound college student and a massive dog, I think I could call the winner. So, He looks worried. I guess it is concerning that I can understand them. I see it as beneficial for now, though. Maybe I can figure out some of this madness a bit faster this way. No idea how I can get them to understand me, though. Maybe charades really is the best strategy I have to go with. Now, Marrow manages to arrange his thoughts and continue. Now this might be a bit awkward after, well, everything. But I would appreciate it if I could still finish my medical examination of you. If that's all right. All right. We were kind of in the middle of a doctor's appointment, weren't we? While this will do nothing for me, I'm sure that there are dogs here just begging to get this information. Doc probably included. I suppose it couldn't hurt. I nod and he lets out a small sigh. At least, he seems grateful. It's nice he asked first. I wasn't even thinking about it if I had a choice or not. The rest of my appointment was fairly routine. Well, mostly anyways. He checked my ears, my mouth, my eyes. Then there were some less than routine parts. Like when he tried to see if I had a tail. Or inspected my head and asked why my fur was so short. Or when he inspected my hand and tried to inspect my claws. It was nice feeling his hands though. The pads aren't quite like skin. But they aren't as rough as a normal dog's. I guess since they aren't on the ground getting beat up all the time. Their claws still freak me out a bit. As long as they aren't being brandished at me as a weapon though, I think it'll be fine. He continues to talk to me throughout the examination. He's very diligent, I suppose. I wonder what he'll say about me in his write-up. I'm curious if they have anything like, wherever I am, or anything at least similar to humans. Obviously not too close, considering their reactions. But maybe something genetically close? It's worth asking about. Atop all the other questions I have stacking up. Coming back to reality, I notice that there are only 2 tools left out of his bag. A roll of bandages, and, a large pointy-looking device. Right, he did say that he wanted to take some blood samples. I'm suddenly very unsure if I should have allowed this examination to continue. Doc seems to have noticed a dip in my attitude, or maybe just the change in my heart rate, and put 2 and 2 together. Oh, this? I promise I'll make it as bearable as possible. But it would really help us out if we could get even the smallest sample from you. When we found out that you were sentient, and not some naked creature running around. I stopped the emergency team from taking samples while you were unconscious. It felt wrong. Of course, now that does mean that you have to be conscious while I take them, of course. I'm sorry. But I saw it as the only acceptable course of action. Wait, what? It's surprisingly thoughtful that he'd go out of his way for my well-being and rights while knowing so little about me. But that's just it. I'm an unknown to them. Why go out of your way to do all that? Seems like an inconvenience for them, and maybe now me as I stare down at the needle. But I suppose he truly meant well by it. Thank you, Marowyn. Right. Well, before we deal with that, I'd like to change your bandages if that's alright. He has no idea what I said. Oh well, soon enough, hopefully. I simply nod and let him redress my wounds. They don't look as bad as I thought that they might. But I do see now that I have a few stitches on my arm. Actually, on closer inspection, the cuts look fused back together. I wonder if it'll leave a scar. Probably not. Ugh, I will have to talk to Maruk about this. They really did a number on you. After redressing my wounds, Doc gathers all his supplies and arranges the last few pieces needed for my little medical. All right. Would you be okay if I were to try and take a sample of your blood? I promise I'll make it as manageable as possible. I'm an expert. Well, on my own species anyway. I can't help but laugh a bit. I really can't tell if he's trying to tell a joke, or if it came out that way. I definitely don't want to do this. But this saint has been so kind to me, I feel like he deserves it. I do hope that he's an expert though. I'd rather not get stabbed more than once. I lay out my arm for him, assuming that the act of taking blood is similar across our species. Probably a poor assumption, but this is the only way that I know how to do it. He seems to catch on fine enough though. Taking some kind of clear liquid and swabbing down a small section of my arm with one giant finger. A disinfectant, I guess. I'm still worried about the prospect of using alien medicine on my human body, but I don't think I've been exposed to too much yet. Not that there is a threshold for dying to alien medicine, but the less the better for now. Oh, well, this is far easier without fur, attempting a non-invasive puncture of the subject. Locating a vein by eye is far harder without proper scans. We'll need to schedule those during upcoming days if possible. For future note, patient lacks of fur does make it significantly easier. A possible vein on forearm. We'll attempt first try there. He stops monologuing to himself and looks to me, gently grabbing my arm with his free hand. I'll do this the best I can. I promise. I can do nothing but trust him at this point, so I just close my eyes and turn away, wincing. Waiting is always the worst in these situations. Then, there it is. I can feel the needle pierce my skin. I'm still looking away, but I hope that he got what he was looking for. I'd loathe to do this again. And then as soon as it started, it stopped. I slowly opened my eyes and turned back to him. He's taking a small red vial out of the device and gently placing it on one of his pockets. As this happens, I hear the door sliding open. Guess it's lunchtime. I rub my arm a bit. It's barely even sore. There, all done. I hope that wasn't too bad. It's impossible to gauge how patients will react to this kind of procedure. But you sat very still, so thank you. He stands up and moves a large paw over my head before stopping himself with a blank face. Doc? You good in there? He snaps out of it and pulls his hand back, adjusting his overcoat. Yes. Of course. Right. Lunch. What did you bring us? No idea what that was about. Maybe something was in my hair? Anyway, I am curious to see what these things eat. And I guess what I'll be eating. It's only now crossed my mind that dogs on Earth either eat raw animals or dog food, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see plates of food that look almost recognizable. If at least by shape and color alone. I walk closer to get a better look. Bonk. Oof. No way. Damn it. I forgot about the see-through wall stuff. Maruk, don't laugh. Are you okay? He puts a paw to my back to make sure that I don't stumble over. Yeah. I gently push his paw away and approach the wall again. More carefully this time. I see now that there are lines on the floor indicating where it is, as well as its not entirely translucent base. It's smooth to the touch, like glass, yet silken. Finally able to look outside, there isn't much to see besides lunch, Maruk's bench, and our lunch, which happens to be quite nicely laid out over 2 trays. Although by their orientation, I'm beginning to believe only one of the trays is for me, as the other is by Maruk's bench. Guess he was really hungry too. There seems to be some kind of soup, a salad, a bun, some crackers, some rolled up things, and some kind of meat, maybe? Well, at least he didn't skimp on the variety. Oh, and a glass of what I can only assume is water. That's good. I was getting worried that I would have to drink out of the sink again. I'm also still on the other side of this confusing see-through wall, so I'm not really sure how this is going to work. Fortunately for me, Doc is already a few steps ahead of me, standing where the door should be. I can see now that there are more marks on the floor where he is, must be for that reason. Now, I'm going to get your food. Please stay where you are, alright? Ah, right. I really am still a bit of a prisoner right now. I nod and step back a bit before Maruk messes with the device on his wrist and the wall retracts, allowing Doc to retrieve the meal for me. Or maybe for us? I doubt that I can eat everything there. Or should. Fortunately, it's a short affair and Doc is back with my lunch. And my only exit closes behind him. I guess any thought of escape is a bit silly, especially with Maruk right there. I'm not really looking to be tackled and knocked out again anytime soon. We'll see if escape is even necessary. It seems like they intend to help me. Or at least study me. My stomach growls. Right. Food first, existential dread of being imprisoned by giant dogs later. Now that the tray is actually in the room, I realize the food actually smells pretty good as well. Like something homemade and hearty, but with a hint of something that I can't put my finger on. Not really what I was expecting. Doc sets the trays in front of me, and I'm first drawn to the crackers. It's by far the most boring option, but it seems like the safest bet, that I can eat without any repercussions. Although in truth I have no idea. This could all just be poison waiting to kill me. Suddenly struck with fear and decision paralysis, I look to Doc for guidance, only to find his face portrays a worryingly similar expression. I guess the same idea hit him as well. I give him a few seconds before he notices me staring. I'm not really sure what to offer you here. I could list out the ingredients and health benefits and even their chemical composition. But I'm not sure that would help you. Let's just be cautious and take this away. He removes the meaty, pate-looking thing. And maybe this. And then the tray with the bun. Oh dear, maybe these too. There goes the rolls. I can tell he's trying hard to make sure nothing will mess with me. Although in truth, he has no way of knowing either way. I'm just worried that there won't be any food left I can try. I'd rather be safe than sorry. But I have to eat something. Doc. Just let the pup try something. We're both a bit shocked to see Maruk standing over us, leaning on the wall. He seems to be eating some kind of burger or sandwich. It's got foil wrapping and all. The bread looks really thick though. Wait a minute. What did he call me? Hey. I have you know I'm an adult. I yell, mockingly shaking my fist at him. He just scoffs and rolls his eyes. I suppose Maruk is right. Although I can't guarantee your safety if you try anything. And I'm sorry for that. I could run some tests, but that could take days, and since you are a different species, the results might not even come back correct. So maybe just take it slow? I frown and just nod. Well, I'm not really reassured this won't be my last meal. I don't see any other options. Well, besides cannibalism. But I think it's a bit early to gnaw my own leg off. Nevertheless, I still decide to start off easy. Maybe too easy, in fact, as I eye up the glass of water. I really have no idea how to tell if it's just normal water or something else. The water from the sink tasted normal, but who knows? It could be corroding me from the inside as I sit here right now. The thought notwithstanding, I can't think of anything on Earth that doesn't drink water. Although whether I am still on Earth or not is another issue. Sniffing the water does nothing but draw a few strange looks from my hosts. It's, water. You do drink water, right? Dihydrogen monoxide? Glad to hear some things are the same around here. Once I've had a drink, I take one of the crackers and inspect it. It looks thicker than a saltine, and breaking it in half shows it's flakier and less brittle. That's a common snack for us. It's a kind of flatbread, maybe more of a pastry, really? It's kind of just empty carbs, but sometimes that's all you need. You can also get it sweetened as a dessert. I hear it's in a lot of soldiers' rations too, as it stays fairly well. I expect Maruk to remark about that, but I guess he's too busy eating. Even though he's still standing right next to us. Well, here goes nothing. I take a bite and my hypothesis turns out to be correct. It's more flaky than it is brittle. Almost as if someone flattened a croissant. Or maybe a few. It's really dense. Although the flavor leaves a lot to be desired. It is fairly bland, but with a sweet and almost herb-like aftertaste. When I don't immediately start choking, I decide to finish the one I'm holding. Maybe we should stop here? Wait until anything happens? That way, if anything does, we'll know that you shouldn't eat those again. While I agree with Maro's logic, I'm hungry now. I don't really relish the idea of only eating what is essentially bread and water for the foreseeable future. That was kind of already what I subsisted on back home. I simply shake my head, no, and reach for the salad. He looks worried, but he doesn't stop me. Seems Maruk was right in that regard. Kinda just best getting over with it. The leaves look different than any leaf that I'm used to. Well, that should go without saying. Or maybe I just didn't eat enough salads back home to really determine any difference. Well, I'd like to say that's a common dish, as I always advise our crew to eat well. I find more often than not that humble greens are ignored around here. That one in particular, though, does look a little barren. It barely has any dressing on it. Maruk, which cafeteria did you go to? Lower decks. Was the closest. Did you want me to spend my pay going to another one? For this? He gestures at me. Guess this facility or station, or whatever it is big enough to have multiple cafeterias. Or at least one for the workers and one for the higher-ups, maybe. Well, no. I just might have to stop by and make sure that living standards are up there. Or at least the food quality. It's fine, Doc. I just didn't put a lot of dressing on since it's for them. Oh. I suppose that would be a safe assumption. Thank you. This is a kind thought coming from him. Maybe he's not just some muscled-up jerk. I should probably know the guy far more than a day before judging him. Although he did tackle me. And knock me out. Well, his job is to worry about security. And right now, my job is to try the salad. Taking the first bite is pretty disappointing, but I mean, I guess I should have expected as much. It is just a bunch of leaves with a small amount of dressing. The aftertaste has a nice kick to it, though. A decent hint of spice. All in all, I think I could make a better salad back home. Doc just seems glad that I'm not choking to death or breaking out in rashes and hives, which is fair. I'm sure he'd hate to lose a patient. And new species. Too bad food. Oh, this is one of my favorites, Mero announces as I reach for my final dish. It's a traditional northern broth. It's pretty much exclusively made with vegetables. But I've seen some variations with meat instead. This one looks fine though. It's usually eaten during the colder seasons by farmers. But really, anyone can enjoy it year-round. The soup itself has some beautiful bronze oil floating at the top, staying just separate from the rest of the broth. A single unidentifiable ingredient rests at the bottom of the bowl. Bringing the bowl to my lips, I'm able to really take in the warmth and hearty aroma of it. I'm glad it stays warm for so long. Upon my first sip, I'm shocked by how spicy it is for something described as just vegetable broth. Fortunately, it's not too much, and I can enjoy the rest of the soup. The rest of the meal continues about the same. I slowly finish my 3 small dishes while Doc makes small talk and Maruk leers at me. Not the worst family dinner I've had. Once I finish and put all my dishes on the tray, I yawn and sit back a bit. I just realized that I really have no idea what time it is. Looking around the room to see if maybe somehow I missed a giant clock reveals nothing of the sort. A bit of a loss, I decide that I might as well try to ask. So, Doc? What time is it? Those are about the expressions I expected. I try tapping my wrist. Maybe watches exist here? Hmm? Oh no, I don't have a monitor like Maruk's. Mine is... I must have left it somewhere. Maruk, I think they want to see your monitor. Is that okay? I'm sure they're curious. Well, it was worth a shot. But since Doc mentioned it, I might as well take this opportunity to check out his monitor or whatever it's called. I am curious. He wasn't wrong. Yeah, I saw Doc. What should I do? I've got important information on here. Just open the lock menu at least. Fine, fine. He lowers his paw to my eye level and feigns pressing some buttons in the air. Then a projection comes out of the bracelet. Wait, did he even touch it? I wonder if it can just tell where his hand is. I saw it from far away earlier, but I'm blown away by it now. This is like a real-life hologram or some kind of short-range projection. I can't even see any seams in it anywhere. It's like a band of pure bronze. It's even emitting light. I've got to get one. Alright, that's enough gawking at my personal stuff. Doc, it's getting late. Do you know the orders for dealing with... well, this? What do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? Can I go to my quarters? Who's guarding this thing tonight? Maruk, you're the head of security. You're on security detail. I know we've never had to use these cells before, but we need them now. So please. Maruk just seems to be grumbling to himself. Or maybe growling is a better word for it. Guess he's stuck with me, or rather I'm stuck with him. I'll have some pillows and a blanket sent up. I know you're tired, but you know how important this is to us. Yeah, whatever, Doc. Didn't want to sleep in my own bed anyways. Meryl just sighs and turns to me. Please understand that keeping you in here is just as much for your safety as it is for ours. We just want to make sure that it's safe for the both of us before we can let you out. I hope the accommodations are enough. But if you need anything, you can try to ask Maruk and he will do his best to help you. He throws a pointed side-eye to Maruk, who just looks away and scoffs. When the time comes to get out, I'll make sure that you can see everything that there is to see around here. And get you a better room. But for now, it is getting late and I've still got some tests to run today. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you. With that, he turns and heads for the door. I can't see him anymore, but I can still hear him. Maruk? Are you... okay? What's that supposed to mean, Doc? Nothing. Let me know if you need anything. And the door shuts. Maruk sighs. It feels calm for a second. And only a second. He turns and punches the far wall. Damn it! I thought I was fucking done with guard duty. Promotion after promotion for this shit. I can't believe I... He turns and faces me. As if he forgot that I was here. His expression is unreadable. Anger. Confusion. Disgust. Anguish? It's all hidden behind a scowl. I can't deal with you tonight. Ending the conversation before it could begin, he quickly hits an invisible button on his monitor. Its screen flashes to life before my view is cut off. The wall is just a wall again. No fancy doors or giant window. Once again, I'm alone. In a white room. With nothing but my thoughts. For a second, the idea of apologizing pops into my head. But for what? Maybe just an excuse to not be trapped again. I've been trapped all day. But only now does that reality creep back in. Seeping in through the black shadows and the bone-white walls. The dreaded fact that I am, indeed, a prisoner. I've had the scars to prove it. Moved by invisible strings, I shamble to the sink, trying to calm myself down a bit by splashing some water onto my face. It works somewhat well until after drying off, I lock eyes with a beast in the mirror. I look like shit. 2 sets of bandages, no shirt, bruises along my arm and shoulder. I want them gone. I want all of this to just suddenly fall away. I managed so well today to not fall apart, not claws at the walls or fight my way to freedom. And yet, when faced with myself, I cannot manage. With a newfound inability to look in the mirror, I try to turn away before noticing something on my cheek. There's still water shining away, dripping slowly. My eyes are red too. Oh. Damn it. I'm unsure if hitting the wall was the catalyst or not, but the tears really start coming. Managing to make it to the bed is more difficult than I'd like to admit. Almost stumbling over myself multiple times. I only hope that Maruk isn't watching. Watching and laughing. Wait. Fuck him. He tackled me and knocked me out. Fuck all of this. Screaming into my now sodden pillow does nothing to assuage my mental tirade. But it's better than punching walls. I can do nothing more than curl up and cry. For what has become of me. And for what I have lost. They even took my bag and phone. I can't even call my mom. Oh. Thinking about whether or not I will be able to see my friends and family again really isn't going to help me stop crying. Fine. I don't even want to be awake anymore anyways. It's doing me no good right now. The low whimpering and gasps for air make it hard to stay focused on sleeping. But eventually I manage to at least stop crying. After flipping the pillow over to the dry side and getting fully under the sad excuse for a blanket, I try to find empty thoughts to fall asleep to. My last waking thoughts are of my first day at school, and of the classes I missed. Day 1. Actually, that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So that was, I guess, the day 1 or the prologue of Roads Yet Traveled, where you were briefly introduced to the, I guess, chief mechanic, Rowan. You were introduced to the doc, Merowyn or Marrow, and Maruk, I guess, head chief of security. So they are, I guess, your main companions, I'm assuming. I mean, there is space for another one right next to Rowan. So yeah. I was kind of hoping to get more time with Rowan because he's the one that I like the most. I mean, sure, St. Bernard, he's cute, whatever. But I like the little, what is he, a wolf dog dude with the artificial arm? He looks cuter, more approachable. Probably timid, I don't know. Kind of chunky. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah. So what are your thoughts so far? Do you like the story? Do you like the character so far of what you're seeing? I get that Maruk probably wasn't thinking that he'd have to babysit an alien. And given the little video that we saw at the, towards the beginning, where he wakes up and all of a sudden he has an implant, I take it a lot of what's happening right now is all new to him, as much as it is to the human. The doc seems fairly reasonable. Like, he or amicable, I guess is a better word. You know, dealing with this weird human alien person thing. Well, I wouldn't even call it human because they don't, probably know what humans are. So it's just an alien, a furless alien. I take it he's gonna be the most easier to get along with, I guess. And I still want to know more about Rowan because he seems more chill, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he was sleeping. Well, he was probably supposed to be doing his job, and apparently he tends to sneak away a lot, which sounds fairly like me. But yeah. Anyways, so, write down in the comments what you think. And thank you all for watching/listening. If you would like to play Roads Yet Traveled yourself, you can find it over on itch. And I'm assuming that they have a Twitter page, or the creator has a Twitter page. I will link that down in the description. And if they have any form of support, financial support, like a coffee or a Patreon or whatever, I will link that down in the description as well. And I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.